Your brother is like you. Your brother is not special, but possessed of everything, including you. You are your brothers. Part of love was not denied to him. And these messages are pointing us to the oneness that we are. Just keep coming back to this line. You are your brothers. It's brother apostrophe S. You are your brothers. We so often just really think that we are separate. We are our own thing. Our brother is his own thing. But it's just not true. You are your brothers. Part of love was not denied to him. What has been given him makes you complete as it does him. So again, these statements cannot fit with our dualistic perception. What has been given your brother makes you complete as it does him. What has been given to our brother? You have been given to your brother. And you make your brother complete. God's love gave you to him, and him to you, because he gave himself, because God gave himself. This makes no sense if there are bodies. It makes no sense if there are two. These words only are understandable when we start to get and even experience that this is oneness talking about oneness. You could say Jesus' purpose in this course and in our practice of forgiveness is to melt away the lines, to dissolve the seeming barriers. What do bodies show us? They show us separation. It's designed to show us that there is more than one, and that they're somehow different. What is the same as God is one with him. What is the same as God is one with him. We really soak in this message. These seeming boundaries have to melt away. There's no room for a line, a black line in a sea of light, in a sea of white. If you think of like a white piece of paper, but it doesn't have an end, it just goes on and on and on. There's no space in that whiteness for some sign of division. And then we try to go to Spirit, we try to go to Jesus and say, oh, but this happened to me, but this story seems so real. I'm suffering, struggling with this issue. And it's all about these lines. It's all about these divisions on that endless white paper. It's like Spirit's like, oh, I know I know you're dealing with that, but that's not where you're going to find the answer. I know you're struggling with this, but there's no hope of peace in resolving an issue on that plane. Sometimes I get this image in my mind of like a dry erase board. You know, these dry erase boards, they're just white. And when you use the dry erase marker, you could cover that whole board with all kinds of things. But the white stays white. You know? That whiteboard never, never changes. No matter how much is drawn on it, it just takes a swipe of the cloth, of the eraser, to find the white again. Untouched, unaffected by everything that's been written on it. This message, this part of the text here that I'm reading, is Jesus trying to point us back to the white under all of the marks, all of the markings. And then we start to come into this experience. What is the same as God is one with Him? Only specialness could make the truth of God and you as one seem anything but heaven, with the hope of peace at last in sight. So what's he saying here? He's saying we need to clear out the specialness. The specialness is what makes us think oneness with God is something frightening, or something to be avoided. So let's lift it up. Let's lift up all of the dark shadows. Let's be open to clearing these dark marks off of the plain white basis of the mind. And let's get curious. Let's get curious about the things that we have invested so much focus and belief in, because that's how we take that eraser to the marks, is we question them, we open them to the possibility that they might not be the truth. And then when we get that validation that they're not the truth, then we start to feel lighter, we start to feel happier, we start to feel more free. Reading this other section too, talking about the feeling of isolation. He said it's actually an illusion of isolation. And then Jesus reminds us, he says, I said that I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. That is why I am the light of the world. If I am with you in the loneliness of the world, the loneliness is gone. You cannot maintain the illusion of loneliness if you are not alone. So it's beautiful. He's really saying he's always with us, no matter what we're going through. No matter what's up in our awareness, he's there with us. And if we really accept that, then we can't be alone. We can't actually feel alone if we know that we're not alone. It's very kind of clear logic. He continues, my purpose then is still to overcome the world. I do not attack it, but my light must dispel it because of what it is. My light must dispel the world because of what it is. So he's really just being very comforting to us here, helping us to see that all the things that we thought are not the case. But we can only experience that if we're willing to offer them up to him, to ask for help. This is the key piece of our healing, is a willingness to question our own values, our own beliefs, our own assumptions, and be open to finding out that maybe we were wrong and that we don't have to hold on to that anymore. He goes on to say, this is the awareness I came to give you, and your problem in accepting it is the problem of the world. Dispelling the world is salvation, and in this sense I am the salvation of the world. So the only way we can let something go is to release our grasp on it. And we need to, in order to feel the peace that he's asking us to remember. You know, we think of energy of like a closed fist, how much pressure and tension it takes to keep clenching that fist so tightly. I mean, obviously there's not peace when there's tension. These two are conflicting experiences. And sometimes it's helpful to think of it so plainly. It's like a closed fist because, you know, we know how to open the hand, to release the grasp. But then to practice that and apply that within, in our own mind, where are we grasping in our thoughts? What are we clinging to in our self-concept? And do we need to keep doing it? Maybe we don't have to. Maybe there's another way. But again, the way to experience that is to bring it up into the light with the intention for healing. We go back to that very simple question Jesus asks us on multiple occasions to say to ourselves, what is this for? What is this for? Do I want peace to come of this? Do I want healing? Do I want happiness to come of this? Well, then it will. It's really so simple. But it takes practice, it takes persistence to really remember this again and again. What is this for? If we can say, this is for my awakening to remember the truth of my oneness with God, all right. Then that's what it's for. It doesn't matter what it seems like on the screen of your life. The purpose is now set. Even if it's something very uncomfortable, very unpleasant in your experience, now you're using it for something helpful. Spirit, open my eyes. Show me this situation with your vision. Help me to see this as a means of my own healing and awakening. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I will start to experience this now that I'm claiming this as my goal. And then when the next wave of darkness or fear or sadness comes up, to again ask yourself, what is this for? What is this for? Let me use this to remember that I am whole and that brokenness is impossible. And this is where we want to practice to start to be more and more consistent. Because the more consistent we are with remembering this, day in, day out, moment in, moment out, whatever we're doing, whatever life seems to be presenting to us, the more that we're really starting to get to the meat of this path. If I wake up in the morning and I know that everything that happens to me in this day is for my awakening, all right, let's do it. I can't wait to get out of bed. What is today going to hold? What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Who am I going to meet? What am I going to say? What am I going to think? What am I going to think today that's for my awakening? I'm open. Holy Spirit, you show me. I do not perceive my own best interests, but I'm willing, I'm open, I'm ready. Let this day be a day for awakening. Then I know what I'm here for. Otherwise, we're all kind of lost. If we don't have a goal that's stated and clear and strong within our mind, yeah, we can just wander around. It can be like a pinball just bouncing off of walls and going here and there. What's that for? That's just sleepwalking. But there is no being a pinball when we have the purpose. Then we're on a mission. We're on a mission to remember the truth of what we are. And we don't have to be diverted from the mission no matter what happens in our life. Whether it seems great, whether it seems kind of rough, okay, let me use this, Holy Spirit. Show me how this helps me know the Christ that I am. That's what I want. That's what this is for. Why? Because that's what I'm using it for. That's what I'm remembering that it is for. And it doesn't matter how much you waver. It doesn't matter how much you fall off this thought. Just come back. Come back, come back, and come back again. Come back till your next waver feels strange. You want to come back so much that this is your norm. You want to be in this groove so that it's hard to fall out of it. And that takes practice, takes perseverance. But you can do that. We can all do that. And Jesus tells us, if you think of how much effort you've put into learning the thought system of the ego, you've overlearned it so deeply, so strongly, how could you doubt your learning ability? How could you doubt your persistence and your dedication to a thought system that you want to believe? Well, you can want to believe the thought system of awakening. That's what this is all about. That's what we're doing here. Let's remember what it is we want. And let's come back to it. Let's come back to it. Let's strengthen it. Let's deepen it. Let's put another brick in the foundation of love in our own mind. Sometimes we talk about how when we really get lit up, when we really get sparked, we say, I really want to go for this. I want to know the fullness of love. The next thing that happens is it seems like all of our crap comes into our face. Okay, well, let's stay with what we want. What is this for? It doesn't mean something went off just because your dark stuff is coming up. It means that you're very dedicated. You're very desiring of a clear and open mind. And how do you get to a clear and open mind? You have to release everything that's not clear and open. And that might not always feel good. It might not always feel smooth. But it is the way. It is the way to your clear and open experience. So I think, we can just say like, hell yes. Hell yes, I want to go for this. I want to remember who I really am. I want to clear all the cobwebs out of my mind. The cobwebs of fear and pain, guilt and shame. Ugh, who wants those things? And cobwebs can be sticky. I was cleaning some off the balcony today. And I'm like, wow, I'm getting them like broken apart, but then they're still there. They still seem kind of sticky. Well, guess what? The ego can feel pretty sticky too. I'm sure some of you might know that already. Maybe everyone. But that's okay. We can still clear them out. We can still keep sweeping them away. Because what else is time for? We were just talking about that this morning. This is what time is for. Time is for your awakening. It's not for anything else. It's not for getting things done. It's not for, you know, enhancing your resume. It's not for crossing off a to-do list. Unless it's just a to-do list with one item, awaken. Let's do that. Let's use everything for that. We were talking about setting an alarm here in the community recently. This kind of practice of setting alarms. Well, what's an alarm for? An alarm is to wake you up. Well, let's set the real alarm, right? Let's set the real alarm of awakening. Jesus, can you wake me up? Can you help me set that alarm? Yes, yes, he can. And he is. How do we do that? Well, let me show you the instruction manual. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, well, this is quite an instruction manual for an alarm, but why not do it? Why does it seem like it has to be 1,300 some pages? Well, because we're very resistant to this alarm. We're very afraid of hearing this alarm and actually following this alarm. I remember so many times when I was younger having an alarm go off and I did not want to get out of bed. Oh no, the alarm's going off. Can I sleep another 7 minutes? Oh, where's the snooze button? Oh, snooze. God. There's nothing like having a job that doesn't inspire you to make you want to hit the snooze button as many times as possible. Roll out of bed at the last minute. Hurry on off to work. Wow, what a world. Except for this is an awakening that we really want. And Jesus is reminding us we want to wake up for this. The only reason we're trying to hit the snooze button is out of fear. The only reason we don't want to hear the alarm, pull the covers back over our head. It's because we think that being a person is still a good thing. It's a little shocking in the beginning when we start studying the course. That's what we're learning. We're learning how to stop believing that we're a person. Most people still don't maybe like that idea a whole lot. Who likes that idea of not being a person? Anyone? I don't know. Maybe not. But that's what we're learning. We're learning that this is not you. This body that you have seemed to be is not you. It's just a story. This concept of being a person is heavy. It's unnecessary. It's a drag. If we look at what being a person means, it's kind of dark, right? Because it means that we're this sort of decaying, sickening clump of matter that at some point is going to cease breathing, you know, cease functioning. I mean, this is what the body is. It's not so pretty. Most of the time we don't want to look straight at this because we think it's us. Can we not look at that exactly? Can we not think about our body decaying and dying? I mean, the good news is that it's not you. This is really the peace of mind we find as we get more and more until we get it completely. This body is not you. This is not what you are. This is not what we are. But it does take looking straight at it. I mean, Jesus is very clear in the Course. He says, there is no death. There is no death. But we can't release our belief in death until we have seen it fully. So we can dive into this. We can look at his messages. And I don't know if we're going to do that right now, but if you're called to this, read about the end of death. The end of death. Like, there's no more death. So we're going to clear all of this away. This is part of the cobweb. The belief in death is part of this cobweb that we're clearing. But it goes back to the release of the belief that the body is what you are. Because if you believe that the body is what you are, then releasing this belief feels like death. It feels like loss, like something has to be given up. But eventually we come to see that it's only just perceiving things as they truly are, not how we've set them up. I mean, Jesus talks about our situation. He uses words like laughable. It's laughable to believe that we're this sort of mortal lump of clay that will end. He, he calls it a joke. He says it's a jest. I mean, these are the literal words he uses in the Course to talk about the ego thought system and the body, the belief that it's what we are. So we're pulling the plug on it. We're pulling the plug. We're going all the way to the depth of the ego thought system, and we're saying, I'm turning the power off to this. I'm turning the power off to the ego thought system. How do we do that? Again, we have to look at it. And then we have to not be fooled anymore. So again, that means we have to look at it with Spirit, with Jesus, with Holy Spirit. If we look at this with something beyond ourselves, we can come to see that there's nothing really there. We can come to see that all the cobweb, this cobweb of fear and suffering, had nothing to it. This takes resolve. This takes a desire to really come into this experience. So you can just ask yourself, do you really want this? Do you really want this? Do you really want to be free of fear and pain? Do you really want to know that you are immortal and not some time-bound thing? Again, just to bring it back, we can use this thought. What is this for? What is this for? What do I want to come of this? Do I want peace of mind? Do I want happiness, complete well-being? Then we know what we're doing here then. A lot of these messages that we get from the Course are good as like almost like a mantra, like something that we can remember and remember and remember. And this, again, 4 words, four very short words, is one of those you can use. What is this for? What is it for? So the next time something's up for you, reach into your backpack, pull it out, piece of paper. Oh, what is it for? That's right. What is this for? I know what it's for. It's for my own happiness. I want to use this seemingly tough situation for my own happiness. And if you even just have that thought, something's already shifting. Something in that experience is already loosening, it's letting go, it's remembering the possibility of peace of mind. And we just do that, and we do that, and we do that. And we do that with everything that comes up in our life, everything that comes our way. I feel like that's all that needs to be said. I know we often have sharings, but I think for this gathering, it is just this message. What is this for? So just take this with you. Like really, really take it in. And if this resonates, give it a go. Give it a go to the best of your ability. And then give it a go and give it a go and give it a go. The more that we grab onto our right mind, the more that peace and joy is our experience. So I just feel all this love for all of you. Feel very grateful and blessed that we're together, different continents, and but we're all together. There's no difference. Go forth in love and just remember to ask, what is this for? We'll see you again soon.